This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2025 Forest River Cedar Creek Experience fifth wheel travel trailer. And the model number is 39 RKB. Okay, so this is going to be a how-to video. I'm going to show you some of the features and how they work. Okay, so we'll start at the door side rear and we'll move forward. So your slide rooms have slide toppers on them, of course. As we move forward, we just have some storage here, and moving on forward past the folding stairs, you have this rail that pulls out. You also have a power awning here, a super long one with LEDs, LED light strip. That's just 120 AC, and this is a port for your water sprayer. You get a coiled water sprayer with the trailer. Now this is your entertainment, outside entertainment area here. You can see the TV. Okay. This is your pass-through storage here. Okay. And your two 30-pound LP tanks here. Both full. You have storage in this front compartment. You also have a 6-point, or is it a 4-point? Hold on one second here. Yes, a 6-point leveling system. You have 6 jacks on the trailer, and those are operated from right here. So default is 5241. Enter it. So the two most common commands you're going to use, I mean, you can operate these jacks independently of each other. There's a lot you can do with it, but auto level is this one right here. That's one's going to be used probably the most. So you pull into the campground, you get your trailer into position, and then you unhitch your tow vehicle and pull it away. Then you're going to push auto level. When you push auto level, the unit remembers the position it was in last time you auto leveled it. Oh, it always remembers one position, the last one before auto leveling. So it remembers that. That's considered hitch height, auto hitch height. So after you auto level and it levels the trailer, of course you can't. Then when you're getting ready to leave, you can push return to hitch height, because remember that last position, right? You push it and it'll put it in the same position it was in before you auto leveled. So you should just be able to slide underneath and hook up and get on your way. So those are the two most common, so that's what I'm going to basically show you. There is also a retract, you can retract all, for example, but that's going to nosedive the trailer. So if you ever do that, it won't hurt anything unless you have something underneath the overhang here or underneath here, whether it's a cooler or a bicycle or anything, you can cause damage with it. So keep in mind, if you retract all, you're going to nosedive the trailer, right? Oh, I just lost it here because I waited too long. What was that? 5241. Enter. So keep that in mind. There are other options. Like I said, you can this extended retract landing gear. That's just your 2 front landing gear, so you can operate those independently. That you're going to use quite a bit also. So okay, so that's the basic function. There's more, but that's what you're going to use the majority of the time. So this is where your battery is at here, okay, and your reservoir and hydraulics, okay. The vent right there. We come over here, it's the other side of your pass-through storage. There's the coiled sprayer I just told you about. That also can plug in right here. You get hot and cold water. So let me just turn this area on here so we can. Lost it here. Okay, well, I'll have to deal with that. So anyways, the basically you have four valves here, right? And then you have these 5 different diagrams. The most common one, city water, that's the most common diagram. That would be if you're just pumping, if you're hooked up to city water, your hose hooked up right here, then you would go to city water, you put the valves in this position and everything, all the plumbing works simply. But if, let's say you're camping someplace without city water, let's say there's no city water where you're camping, you can power fill the tank. You still have the hose on here, but you power fill it by putting the valves into this configuration here. And then when you get to the campground, you can go to dry camping. Turn on your water pump and you can pump water out of the water tank. Just like you had city water, it'll just be pumping from the tank. All your plumbing will work just like you have city water, okay? Also, you have winterize right here, which is you know, obviously for pumping antifreeze into the system, and then sanitized siphon there, which is for pumping the tank empty or pumping some bleach concoction or a store-bought mixture, whatever you use, okay? Last thing on here is your black tank flush. So if you're going to flush your black tank, you hook the hose, the freshwater hose at the dump station right onto here. Don't, like it says on the sticker here, don't turn it on until you've dumped the black tank, right? And you leave the valve in the open position, so too much pressure can't build up. So you dump it, you leave the valve in the open position. This is the black tank. You dump the black tank, leave it in the open position. Then you're going to put the hose on here, turn it on, and you can spray out the inside of your tank, clean it out, clean off the sensors, that sort of thing, okay? Then these are low point drains here, right, for winterizing. These are your 2 grays and your black, so that's where the one you use for black tank. This is your battery kill switch. It's on right now like it should be. And this, you can, you know, normally you've got one switch for the hydraulics, so it's going to operate all 4 slide rooms, one after another, right? But if you want to operate them independently, you can come out here and you can turn them off, right? And you can just, let's say you just want to operate the bed in and out. So you'd shut the other 2 off, and that way you can just run the bed in and out with using the one switch, or any other combination of the slide rooms, okay? So keep that in mind also. This is your cap light there. And I think that's about it for the water compartment. Now you have on-demand hot water for this trailer. So this is your unit. On the outside, of course, you have a control panel inside. I'll show you that when we get in there. The thing to know is this is the master switch. It's on right now, so it should be on when you're going to use the on-demand hot water. You always want it on, of course. So when you're in storage, you can shut it off. If traveling, you can shut it off, whatever. But when you're camping, you want it on, of course. I'll show you more about that when we get inside. Now, this is your 50 amp, 30-foot power cord. So it's a 50 amp system because you have more than one air conditioner. Okay, and of course those are your dump where your dump hose hooks up to. You do get a dump hose with this. Furnace vent, again more galley tank, another place to hook up a dump hose. You have slide toppers all the way around, like I mentioned. This is just another storage compartment here. When we get to the back, you can see up there there's a housing we're pre-wired for a backup camera. Okay, if you want to get a Furrion backup camera kit, we sell them here. You can get them elsewhere. Just make sure you get the proper kit to fit that housing. Also, that's a pre-hookup for a Lippert telescoping ladder. So if you want to get the Lippert telescoping ladder that comes off the trailer when you're traveling, and you store it in the stowed position where you collapse it down to the smallest configuration. The reason you would want that mainly is because the manufacturer states you should inspect the roof every 90 days, so you need a way to get up there. And when they say inspection, they're basically telling you to look for any damage that could be caused from, let's say, low branches or road debris flying up there. Look at the cracking or look at the sealant or caulk to see if there's any cracking or separation anywhere where water could get through, that sort of thing. So you need to do that every 90 days just to protect your trailer, because you can't see what's happening up there unless you look, obviously. So keep that in mind. Every 90 days, inspect the roof. Whoever does it has to be very careful, obviously. You can hire somebody or whatever you need to do. Okay, so we're still cleaning in here because we're prepping and getting ready here, so keep that in mind. This is your power converter right here. This converts AC to DC power. You have your 120 AC circuit breakers in there, coming from the shore power, and then that power is converted to 12 volt DC on the 12 volt side, and you'll see 12 volt DC fuses, and they're all labeled. So that's where the 12 volt DC comes from. It converts the AC power to 12 volt DC, and then it also this is also a battery tender, so it'll test and see how much energy your battery has, and it'll send as many amps necessary to keep your battery charged while you're plugged in. You also have solar panels on this one, okay? But keep in mind, so that your solar control, or your excuse me, your power converter will charge your battery when you're plugged into shore power. Your tow vehicle will charge your battery when you're pulling it down the road. And then you have your solar controller here, which will charge the battery as it can, depending on the conditions outside. So the only thing we're going to worry about right now is this button right here. So you see we got 14.2 volts DC. This is all DC, right? 14.2 volts DC in the system. We're gaining 0.5 amps right now and storing it in the battery. The reason that is it's overcast big time, and it just got done pouring rain. That'll change throughout the day, or throughout, changes day to day, hour to hour, depending on the conditions outside. Okay, so right now we're converting 0.5 amps. That's a half an amp of electricity from solar power to electricity, from the sun to electricity, storing it in the battery. Okay, push it again. 15.6 amp hours, that's the amount of storage, and back again to 14.2. There's 3 different screens. So 14.2 volts DC, that's good to know, and you're gaining 1/2 of an amp and stored in your battery. That's good to know. So if it says FUL and flashes, right, it's not broke. It's telling you that there's no more room for storage in the battery, right? So it's telling you it's full, FUL. And it'll continue to say that till the amperage in your battery drops. So you're gonna be using battery power, and it'll drop down, and there'll be some storage room, and then it'll turn the panel back on and start storing energy, just like I showed you. It'll have somewhere in 14 volts DC. It could be 14.5, 13.8, always in that area, if it's healthy. And then of course your amp gain from the sun and your amp hours. That's just how much energy is stored. Okay, this type button is just to change the type of battery you have. Right now you just have a wet battery. If you were to add lithium or gel, you have to change it with this button right here. Okay, you can read more about that if you need to. So that's the basics of the solar controller. There's more to learn. Everything's in your literature, so you can learn as much as you need to. These here controllers are this is for the ceiling fan. This is for a vent. In this case, it's going to be, where is it? Up here. Now that remote will open the lid. You can change the fan speed, the fan direction, all that stuff, right from that controller there. So that's what that's for. Also, you have water pump, which is on right now. You can see I got it on right now because we do have water in the tank that we can use for this demo. Your slide out button, that operates all of them, and you can select them from the outside by shutting the other ones off, where I showed you in the water compartment there. So you can shut your slide rooms off there for safety. It's your power awning right there, your awning light, other lights. You have tank heaters to extend your camping season, so each one of your holding tanks has a heating pad. You turn that on right there. And then of course your batteries charged. You have some fresh water because we're prepping it black. You only have one toilet, so just one black tank, 2 gray tanks. And it graduates up in 1/3 increments to so you have an idea of how much water or waste are in your tanks. Okay, There's just some info on your solar panel. Okay, and I think that covers that. Okay, yeah. So you move on to your 2-zone air conditioner. It's very simple. You're just gonna, it's just simple. You turn it on basically, you know, whether it's heating or cooling or just a fan. You're just going to turn it on and select the temperature you want. Very simple, okay? We can look in here because this is your middle room or office room, depending. This couch folds out into a hide-a-bed. You pull the cushions right off the back, like so, and fold it out so you got a hide-a-bed here, and then of course storage and TV hookups, all the usual stuff. Okay, so you have your fireplace, which is a space heater. This is your remote here. There we go. Right now it's saying H, which means the fan is on high. I can change that, shut it off, turn it on low, high. Right now it's really kicking out the heat. You can also change the appearance. You can change the crystals, you know, to what you want. You can also set the temperature. It's got a thermostat on it. And it also has a timer, so you can set it to turn on and turn off when you want it to. Of course, that's your TV remote. You recognize the television. Okay. We will go to this. This is another hide-a-bed here. So you just pull the cushions off and fold it out. You have your theater seats here, recliners, and it's powered. Your back and footrest is powered. Of course, your dining area, and then you have a desk. I'm not going to go over the self-evident stuff because we have limited time. I only have a half hour on each one of these files, so it starts another one. So this is all the stuff for your kitchen sink. You have waterfall to clean plates, and it's got the slanted piece that goes in here, and this waterfall will go over it. If you turn this, depends on which way you turn this knob here. You can go regular water that way if I turn it clockwise. If I turn it counterclockwise, you get the waterfall. And the farther you go, the warmer the water gets. So you have that, right? Turn that off. Then this is a cup washer. Never push down on it without the cup over it, or else you'll get soaked. But you clean cups with that, obviously. It's got a dispenser here. Here your keys are hanging here, and all the components to it right here. Okay. When it comes to this vents to the outside, obviously. It's got 2 speeds, 3 speeds, I think, and a light. And oops, I just had the light. There we go. Come on, try it again, Carl. There we go. The light. When it comes to your burners, you're just gonna spark it. Push it in by sparking. Now the gas is how do you get this? First, I'll turn this on. The gas is the tanks were just changed out, so there's going to be an air bubble in here. So it'll take a few minutes for the gas to get up here, but when the air is pushed out of the line, it'll just like the first time you push in, the first click, it's going to light. So I should have done that before I did the video, but I did not. You can just trust me on that. I'm not gonna subject you to that, but it'll light right up once you get to that point. You also have a convection microwave. Okay, huge refrigerator, which is, let me double check here, hold on, is, that's French, I want English. Yeah, it's a 12 volt DC refrigerator, so it runs on 12 volts, which is great. In a trailer, everything that can run on 12 volts DC does. Some things have to be AC. The refrigerator used to have to be, but now they come out with 12 volts. The air conditioner has to be AC power. The microwave has to be AC power right now. Just about everything else is DC. Let's move on here. We're running out of time. So let me go this way. You have a loft, of course. your kid or grandkid or whoever. The most important thing I can tell you right here is when you're in transit, when you're traveling, you always want these shower doors latched in the open position with this. If you don't, the odds are someday they're going to break. I've seen it several times over the years. So make sure you latch them in the open position so they can't just slide and bang around when you're traveling, okay? That's very important. The toilet is typical RV toilet in that it sits right over a black tank. You need to put a dose of chemical in the bowl and push down on the pedal till you put at least a gallon of water. You can use more than a gallon, more is better. Don't use less than a gallon, more is better. So you need a dose of chemical and at least a gallon of water before you use it. After you know, when you start off, you're pulled into the campground, your black tank should have already been dumped. So it should be empty. So like I said, you want to, when you're getting set up, you want to put a dose of chemical in the bowl and then stand on the pedal till at least a gallon of water goes in there. A couple gallons is good. And then you're all set to use it. But don't use it without the chemical and water. It'll get clogged up. It'll be a mess. So you don't need that. Any doors that slide like this one, latch them in the position, either open or closed, because it's the same way with the glass door. They won't shatter obviously, but they'll still get messed up. So you always want to lock them into position. This is your GFCI. There's a couple of them in this trailer. All the receptacles, even the ones that just look like regular receptacles, are wired to a GFCI. So if you lose power outside, for example, you're still going to come in here and reset it inside because everything's wired to a GFCI. Okay. This is your controller for your on-demand water. Now, to get this to light, one of two things has to be present. You either have to have your city water hooked up with it turned on, or you have to have your water in your fresh water tank with your pump turned on. Otherwise, the safety won't let it light. Right now it's 84 degrees. If you just tap the button, it should be set. It's normally set to 120. That's where it normally is. Okay. That changes from Celsius to Fahrenheit. But what we're going to just do now is we're just going to turn on the hot water. Got the pump going, so here you see it's showing water. You got it spinning there. A minute you'll see the flame. There's the flame, right? Now you'll see the temperature start to rise rapidly, 95, 100, and it'll hold at 120, okay? And you'll have non-stop on-demand water. It's hot, and you can take no more 6 gallons or 10 gallons of water per shower. You got as much as you need, okay? And this will work. As soon as I shut the water off, it all goes back to normal. It'll work with any of the, the kitchen faucet, the shower, anything that has a hot water line to it that will activate this, okay? Alrighty. Let's move a little farther. So here we have another TV, of course, your bed, and let's see what's underneath here, if anything. Now it's just the storage under here, okay. Okay. Another air conditioner, of course. These are sensors for your heating and cooling. You'll see them around the trailer. This door latches, and remember what I said about latching them. Always latch when you're traveling. I'm going to open it up to show you that it's prepped for a washer dryer. You can do a stackable or a combo. Either one will fit in here. Of course, stackable is better just because it gives you more room and it's just a better setup. But you can just use the combo too if you're interested in just that. That's something we can do here also if you want to add that on. You get a vacuum with it. Okay. Alrighty. Emergency windows. You just move both levers to the up position and then push the window out. It's hinged at the top, so very simple. Okay. Somewhere in here I haven't seen it or I missed it, is the carbon monoxide LP gas detector. Let me just look for that one more time. So I can show you that hopefully. Yeah, right here. So this should always be glowing green like it is. If not, get it serviced. Like I said, it's carbon monoxide and LP gas detector. It's very important. So if it's not glowing green, get it serviced. Service means replace basically, unless one of the wires came loose or something, but generally means to replace it. It's not expensive, so don't worry about that. Also, there's a button on there, a test button, so you can audibly test it also. But if it's not working, get it fixed, okay? All right. Okay, so I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Remember what I said about inspecting the roof every 90 days? That's important. Right now, There's no antifreeze in the system. It's all been purged out and replaced with fresh water, so you're all set there. And when you come and pick up, you'll have questions. We'll answer all your questions for you and get you on your way, okay? Thank you very much.